Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
Chapter 1. Queen. A gigantic monster fell like a mountain. One by one, all the countries on Earth were destroyed. Among the 10 remaining countries, the apocalyptic monster summoned to the United States was finally subdued. Good. A fair-haired white man who was watching the scene smiled with satisfaction. He was Balin, the guild leader of American First, the top-ranked guild in the United States. Thud. And then, a black-haired man fell beside the fallen monster. His left arm was severed, and his whole body was badly burned. He was Sung Jihan, the 78th-ranked Sung Jihan, the undefeated martial saint. Balin said a few words briefly. Good job. Sung Jihan growled. For Balin, Sung Jihan, a Sung Jihan from Korea, was a useful hunting dog, and today, the hunting dog had successfully completed the mission entrusted to him. Although he was severely injured, regeneration, the 3rd-ranked saint rushed over and cast healing magic in a hurry, but as time passed, the saint's expression became increasingly hardened. Normally, with her power, she could heal burns in an instant, but the burns she received while facing the apocalyptic monster were particularly severe. Jahan, just a little, hold on. Please, great heal, great. The saint shed tears as she continued to cast healing magic. Seeing her giving her all, Balin furrowed his eyebrows for a moment, but soon turned his gaze to the monster's corpse. The apocalyptic monster, Behemoth, an evil aura still emanated from its body, enough to send shivers down one's spine even from a distance. Even from afar, how did he endure it up close? Once again, Balin was in awe of Sung Jihan's strength. Wah! A white light shot up from Behemoth's fallen body. That's the boss battle reward, a special treasure chest that rarely appeared from boss monsters. Whenever it appeared, a white light like that would burst out from the center of the monster. Everyone, step back. Yes, when Balin raised his hand, dozens of American First Guild members stepped back and guarded the surroundings. A special reward from Behemoth, known as the apocalyptic monster. Although they were tempted by it, they couldn't defy the strict orders of Balin, the world's top-ranked player, and as Balin looked around at his guild members, he chose the saint, along with the 4th and 5th-ranked members of American First, to receive the reward together. What about Jihan? He's not American, just a hunting dog. Sung Jihan, who played the biggest role in defeating Behemoth, was naturally excluded from the discussion. But he's also American, he's in exile. I know what being American means. But Jihan fought against the apocalyptic monster. Kyuk. Sung Jihan, who had been silently listening to the conversation, smirked. He didn't expect any rewards from Balin. Advertisement. Sung Jihan slowly opened his mouth. Go. This should be enough. I'm sorry. I'll be back soon. Okay. As the saint stood up, Balin's expression became eager. The hunting dogs of Korea, but they still knew the tropic. Let's go, Balin. Of course. Fly. Through Balin's flying magic, the 3 of them flew up towards the top of Behemoth. Sung Jihan watched them with blurry eyes. Herself, who had lost her country and become an exile, and the 3 players from the superpower country, the United States. Although the difference in rankings was not much, their positions in the guild were like heaven and earth. What kind of reward will come from Behemoth? Sung Jihan thought as she looked at the corpse of the monster she had defeated with her own hands. Even if it was a monster that came out in a demotion match, it was the boss of the end, so it should give something good. It doesn't matter, it's not mine anyway. I should regenerate my missing left arm quickly. It was a moment when she calmly faced reality and healed her body. Kurura. Suddenly, the ground shook, and a message window appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Space League. Announcement of the results of the Bronze League demotion match. The premonition was ominous. Game category, Defense, United States, Success. China, Success. Russia, Failure. Japan, Failure. The United States and China succeeded. Starting from Russia, everyone else failed. Sung Jihan's face hardened as she saw that, among the final 10 countries, only 2 succeeded. This is number 4212. Humanity, lost in the demotion match. with number 4773 we will have the final demotion match. The battle will take place immediately. Zai Ying. The message window expanded and displayed a single screen. Inside, a large stage was unfolding. G Guildmaster, and, in the screen, Bielan and his party, who went to receive Behemoth's reward, stood with stern expressions, and there's even a player from China, a total of 5 people, 5 players ranked higher than Sung Jihan. With them, no more players were summoned. On the other side of the stage, 5 a race with green skin and appearance resembling pigs, stood. The battle begins, a 5v5 battle. The losing side will be demoted. Please, one guild member prayed, clasping their hands together. Advertisement. Of all opponents, it had to be Jihan should have been summoned. Some felt sorry and looked towards Sung Jihan. Even though 5 people were selected, Jihan couldn't be summoned because his ranking was 7th, but the guild members knew that Sung Jihan was the American first. No, the world's strongest player. Even though he didn't have one arm, they would have been relieved if he had been summoned. Ha ha ha, what a joke, that monster is not here. Who was at the forefront, looked around at the humans and burst into laughter. Sung Jihan knew well. He's the guy who ran away in the previous battle. He was a warrior who was terrified in front of Sung Jihan, but now he realized that he was not here, and he looked confident. We must avoid demotion, kill them all. 5 rushed forward at a terrifying speed. In response, Balan quickly used magic to fight back. But Sung Jihan's face, watching the battle, was already hardened, because party composition was a perfect hard counter to humans. Block, I said block, arg. The result was obvious. It's over. Thud. Balan's head fell to the ground. His face was distorted with fear and despair. At the same time, a system message appeared. Number 4212 Humanity, defeated, demoted from Bronze League. It was the expected result, and it was the result he had hoped. His eyes were wrong. Humanity, including Sung Jihan, could only watch as the 5 rankers were brutally defeated by the Oh, my god, what's going to happen now? When the American First Guild members were in a panic, a new message appeared. There are no more lower leagues, expelled from the Space League. Number 4212, humanity has been classified as a worthless species. Deletion will begin. Deletion. No one had ever felt so terrified after reading a system message, and as this message disappeared, the guild members' bodies began to be engulfed by darkness, one by one. Save us. No one was exempt, from the lowest ranking guild member in American First to the most reliable ranker in the guild. They all disappeared from the world, swallowed by the darkness emanating from their own bodies. In less than 5 minutes, all the guild members of American First were wiped out. Only Sung Jihan, strangely enough, was not erased. His arms and legs were swallowed by darkness, but his head and body were still resisting that power. The power of the nameless divine art is resisting even this, the skill that made Sung Jihan rank 7th. The nameless divine art. Advertisement. For an unnamed martial artist, his skill level was measured as SSS, but he didn't expect it to resist even the system's deletion. It was regrettable. If I had revealed the name of the divine martial art, it would have become an even more exceptional skill. Upgrade conditions for the nameless divine martial art. If he had discovered the true name of the divine martial art, he wouldn't have ended up in such a miserable situation. In the first place, he obtained this power too late. If only he could have mastered this power a little earlier. Regret flooded in. If that had happened, our country wouldn't have perished. When Korea perished, it hadn't been long since Sung Jihan obtained the nameless divine martial art. If he had regained his senses even for a moment and gained power, the homeland wouldn't have disappeared so tragically. His reckless past was too regrettable. The power of the nameless divine martial art was strong, but it had its limits. Sung Jihan's remaining body was slowly being consumed by darkness. His shoulders were already engulfed by darkness. Even that was being completely erased, and not long after, all of humanity has been deleted. You have become the last survivor. In Sung Jihan's hazy vision, a brief message appeared. The last survivor. Was it saying that all of humanity disappeared in that short moment? Now I will follow suit. Yes, there was no meaning, No reason to be left alone like this. That was when Sung Ji-han decided to stop using the nameless divine martial art. It's fascinating. Number 4212. Humanity was a worthless species. To resist deletion, system messages appeared in Sung Ji-han's vision in a chaotic manner. These messages felt different from the emotionless messages he had seen so far. Even the background color of the message window was different. It used to be a translucent blue color. The current message window had white, black, red, and other colors. Multiple colors were mixed together. It is a being with slight potential. Yes, we must not overlook even a single possibility. Let's give him a chance to challenge again. I agree. I disagree. It's a waste of power. I agree. I agree. 3 in favor, 1 against. What are these things doing? Sung Ji-han stared at the message window that was voting without his consent, and his eyes widened. The vote has passed. Player Sung Ji-han will return to the league's initial entry period. The league's initial entry period. With that message as the last, Sung Ji-han's vision darkened. Chapter 2. One day in 2010, inviting Earthlings to Battle.net. A single invitation that came from space turned the world upside down. Did you watch the game yesterday? Yeah, I did. Mexico still won easily. The Sword King wiped them all out. Their tanks are weak against us. The Battle.net League unfolds globally. Survival, Invade, Defense, Dungeon. A combat game consisting of 4 types. It made all professional sports, including the Olympics and the World Cup, disappear. The kids who used to carry soccer balls in the streets of Brazil started making swords their friends, promising players in American baseball threw daggers instead of baseballs and practiced. It was a strange change in perception that occurred within just a year since Earth was invited to Battle.net, and now, 10 years have passed. In 2020, this year, the tutorial season of Battle.net will end. From 2021, humanity will belong to the Space League, Bronze League. The time when humanity could stay in the cradle has come to an end. A spacious and glamorous living room. Sung Ji-han, who was lying on the sofa, opened his eyes. Where am I? His head was throbbing painfully, and the smell of alcohol lingered in his mouth. Typical hangover symptoms. This was an experience Sung Ji-han had never had in the past few years, but he was strangely happy about this feeling. Finally, I've returned to the initial entry period of the league, a chance for a rematch. He didn't believe it would really come true even when he saw the last system message. He had really gone back to the past. He quickly got up from the sofa and looked around. A living room that was large enough to kick a ball. It was a place that was very familiar to him. His sister's house, and Yoon Se-jin's house. Until now, Sung Ji-han had been living in this house, and, even the numerous bottles of alcohol on the coffee table. It's true, that time, it was a period when his life changed dramatically, and when he reached level 2 and participated in the Bronze League for the first time. Then, let's listen to the press conference of the Sword King Yoon Se-jin once again. Meanwhile, a gloomy voice was spreading from the TV. When Sung Ji-han turned his gaze in that direction, a video of a press conference by a man was playing on the entire wall of the TV. Ladies and gentlemen, advertisement. As soon as Sung Ji-han heard that voice, he clenched his teeth. The press conference video, a scene he could never forget in his lifetime. July 31, 2020. He even remembered the date perfectly. I, Yoon Se-jin myself, the king of the court, Yoon Se-jin, Sung Ji-han's brother-in-law and the strongest player born in Korea, ranked 3rd among the top 11 players in the world and known to be the most powerful in the warrior class. He was called Korea's pride and national treasure. On the screen, he stood with a proud expression. Regarding the rumors circulating, I came here today to reveal the truth. He confidently continued speaking. First, about the rumor of joining Japan's Divine Self-Defense Force. That part is true. Of all times, to see that bastard's face as soon as I come back to the past. Yoon Se-jin's press conference, the turning point that shook Korea and caused its downfall. His transfer to Japan had a chain reaction, causing Korea's league rankings to plummet, and our country has been destroyed. Sung Ji-han's expression twisted as he thought about the future. The journalists on the screen momentarily wore disappointed expressions and raised their hands. Mr. Yoon Se-jin, Mr. Yoon Se-jin, you're joining the Divine Self-Defense Force. Is that really true? It is true. The Divine Self-Defense Force is a guild directly under the Japanese government. It is known to only accept players with Japanese nationality to represent the league. I see. I am aware of that as well. The Divine Self-Defense Force only accepts Japanese players. Click, click, click. The press conference room was engulfed in silence. Only the sound of camera flashes continued to echo. So, Yoon Se-jin will change his name to Ryuhei and naturalize as a Japanese citizen. Please call me Ito Ryuhei from now on. Commotion, commotion. The sound of journalists being unsettled reached beyond the TV screen. What, Mr. Yoon Se-jin, what is this? King of the court, naturalizing as a Japanese citizen. Are you saying you will retire from the national team as well? Yes, I am Ito Ryuhei. I will now represent Japan in the World Champions League. See you then. That's all. A chilling smile even crept onto Yoon Se-jin's lips as he said he would become a Japanese. Countless journalists had a shocked expression. It was a completely different image from the one he had been known for as Korea's hero, with a gentle image. Wait a minute, Mr. Yoon Se-jin, has there been any consultation with the Korean government, changing your name too? Journalists crowded around Yoon Se-jin, but, suddenly, a black shadow engulfed him, and before they knew it, it swallowed his body. What is this? Advertisement. Where did you go? And the screen switched. Under the screen reflecting the tense atmosphere of the debate, there was a big headline. The departure of the dot. What will happen to the league rankings of South Korea? Well, even watching it again, it's a confusing scene, isn't it? The government said it was an unplanned story. Yes. The government's position is to find Mr. Yoon Se-jin and try to persuade him calmly, but his whereabouts are currently unknown. Of all places, went to Japan. A moment of lamentation for his departure. A panel of Battle.net experts began discussing the future. The best thing would be for to return to South Korea. Even if he doesn't come back, I predict that our league rankings will remain stable. The Northeast Asian League is so competitive that our immediate ranking may drop, but overall, we are in the top tier in the country. That's right. Dungeons are a phenomenon that comes from the bottom 10% of countries. HMPH. Upon hearing the phrase bottom 10% apostrophe, Sung Ji-han let out a chuckle. He's still running the happiness circuit. The importance of Battle.net's league rankings. It is because the rankings are directly linked to the safety of the country. Even if dungeons appear, they won't know even after seeing North Korea. More accurately, it was because the phenomenon of dungeons that were only seen in Battle.net games became a reality. And the country that was hit hard by this dungeon phenomenon was none other than North Korea. Concerned that it would be fatal to the regime, North Korea banned player cultivation and boycotted participation in Battle.net altogether. As a result, North Korea, which ended up at the bottom of the league rankings, became a complete mess due to the dungeons that appeared nationwide. Still, our South Korea is still maintaining its position within the top 20. That's right. Even if he's gone, we won't drop below 30. On the contrary, it was Japan that paid an absurd price to persuade. This will ultimately be a loss for them. It's okay, we can survive. In fact, it was Japan that suffered a loss. Pick. Upon hearing the panelists' victory in spirit, Sung Ji-han got annoyed and turned off the TV. Japan suffered a loss. Ridiculous. Sung Ji-han thought about the future. Japan could have confidently remained as one of the last 10 countries with his joining. Yoon Se-jin, if we only consider his abilities, they are unrivaled, disregarding personal ethics. Of course, the price Japan paid was undoubtedly significant. At the time, there were many criticisms of why they would bear such a burden just to recruit one player, but within 3 years, that evaluation completely turned around. After the end of the Earth's tutorial and the world fell into hell, the recruitment of became known as a divine move. But, Sung Ji-han got up from the sofa and walked steadily towards the family photo of Yoon Se-jin hanging on the wall. His older sister and young nephew, and the family photo of Yoon Se-jin smiling brightly. Thump. His fist crushed Yoon Se-jin's face. It won't be like this time, because he, who saw the end of this game, has returned. After Earth was invited to the Battle.net advertisement, all humans over the age of 18 awakened as players who were granted the right to play games on Battle.net. Player, show me the status window. When the status window, which was seen in games or novels, appeared. There was chaos on Earth for a while, but that wasn't the only change. Huh? Channel 0, was this a thing? I've never installed this program before. BattleNet broadcasts were aired on TV Channel 0. Regardless of internet connection, BattleNet-related programs were installed on all computers and phones. Invited by a space civilization, is this for real? People couldn't hide their surprise at the strange events that happened overnight, and of course, there were those who were curious about this phenomenon. BattleNet, where should I try it? One peculiar thing was that almost everyone accessed this BattleNet system. In fact, it was common to be cautious about the sudden appearance of BattleNet, but the people of 2010 were different. That's how it was. People who participate in BattleNet accept this game without question. Sung Ji-han briefly recalled the fact revealed in the future and spoke in a calm voice. Status window. Name, Sung Ji-han. Level, 2. Affiliation, Bronze League, Gangnam 1 area. Strength, 5. Agility, 5. Stamina, 5. Magic, 5. Class, unemployed. Gift, Wanderer's Eye, Grade F. Able to understand other players well. Title, none. Achievement points, 100,000. Sung Ji-han sighed softly. How pathetic. His stats were at the lowest value of 5, and his class was unemployed, although there was the existence of a talent called gift given to a few humans. At that time, I thought this gift was useless and fell into gambling, an ambiguous ability to understand opponents. However, since it had an effect even beyond the screen, Sung Ji-han made good use of the gambling system on BattleNet. But the true value of this gift was not that. He only thought of the gift as a useful tool for gambling, but his life changed drastically due to a certain incident. The F-grade gift completely transformed. But for now, the conditions for awakening the gift are not met. For now, he would leave this gift alone. Sung Ji-han decided to look at something else. And there was one number that caught his attention. At the bottom of the status window, it was 100,000 achievement points. Chapter 3, Achievement Points. Why do we have them? And 100,000 at that? Achievement points. They are given in Battle.net games, and they are a kind of honor score that increases every time you complete the challenges of each mission, and it's a useless score. Literally, it's an honor score. Achievement points are a measure of how much of a Battle.net enthusiast you are, nothing more and nothing less. It's strange, it shouldn't exist at this time. Sung Ji-han closed the status window. While the achievement points were one thing, he was concerned about the changes that had occurred compared to the past. Then are there any other changes elsewhere? Inventory. The inventory window appeared above the broken face of Yoon Sejin. Naturally, the storage space was completely empty. However, what's this? In the last slot of the inventory, there was a small piece of paper. Achievement points exchange ticket. Grade, X. Non-exchangeable. A reward given to the last survivor who chose to retry, obtains the qualification to exchange achievement points. Achievement points exchange ticket, useless honor points, achievement points, and there was an exchange ticket that could be used to exchange them. Sung Ji-han's eyes sparkled, and it's graded X, a grade beyond the standard. It was a grade that only one person had in his previous life, but to have an X-grade item come out of an item, I should try using it. I don't know what can be exchanged with useless achievement points. But since the exchange ticket is X-grade, it won't be exchanged for something ordinary. This must be used. Using the achievement points exchange ticket, the achievement shop will be added to the system window. It was enough to be added to the system. To change the interface, it must be an X-grade item. Sung Ji-han was secretly surprised and immediately opened the achievement shop. Achievement shop LV.1. Achievement shop upgrade, 20,000p. Status window expansion LV.1 to 10,000p. Class slot edition LV.1 to 10,000p. They sell things like this. Sung Ji-han widened his eyes. What the achievement shop sold was something that could completely change the foundation of a player. It's useless right now though. Status window expansion, class slot edition. These were things that were not needed right now, but if he reached a higher level in the future, they would be important variables that could change the rankings. But I don't need to buy anything right now. I should level up the shop. Sung Ji-han pressed the button to level up the shop and left. Achievement shop has reached LV.2. Inventory expansion item has been added. I don't need this right now either. Achievement shop has reached LV.3. Advertisement. Title slot added item will be added. I don't need a title yet. Sung Ji-han calmed down. These things are only useful if you reach at least the Gold League. Gold League, to surpass the Bronze and Silver Leagues. As a level 2 Sung Ji-han in the Bronze League, it was a world that seemed impossibly high. The achievement store would give him wings, but he needed to at least know how to walk. I shouldn't expect much from the early stages of the achievement store. Sung Ji-han thought this way as he looked at his remaining achievement points, 50,000. With the remaining 50,000, he could either purchase all the newly added items so far, or spend 40,000 points to upgrade the store. One of the two. Let's upgrade the store. Sung Ji-han chose the latter without much hesitation. Since buying all the newly added items wouldn't be helpful right away, he wanted to see what was in the level 4 store. Achievement store has been upgraded to level 4. Emergency recovery item will be added. Emergency recovery. Apostrophe. Sung Ji-han opened the achievement store and read the description of the emergency recovery. Emergency recovery item. Repairs incomplete items to their original state. A short one-line description, but upon seeing it, Sung Ji-han's eyes sparkled more than ever. A usable item has come out right away. If he could repair items, he could greatly reduce the early trial and error. Step by step, Sung Ji-han walked into Yoon Se-jin's house with familiar steps. It must be here. Passing 3 rooms, he entered the innermost space of the spacious penthouse. Next to the black door was a fingerprint recognition device. Sung Ji-han placed his finger on the device. Recognition complete. Family member. With a short mechanical sound, the door opened. Family, huh? Sung Ji-han smirked and laughed bitterly. His relationship with Yoon Se-jin, who was the landlord, was now worse than anyone else's, but the machine still recognized him as family. Sung Ji-han entered the room. There, he saw Yoon Se-jin's access device for playing Battle.net, the Battle.net connector. It looked like a racing car seat at first glance, but it filled up a large room. The temporary storage was here, right? Sung Ji-han sat on the Battle.net connector and pressed the button in the left corner. Then, the inventory of the Battle.net connector that Yoon Se-jin used appeared in front of him. Temporary storage. As expected, all the items are sold. Since the player's inventory had a limit of 10 slots, many players stored their items in the temporary storage provided by the Battle.net connector. If he was the King of Swords, there should have been a lot of items left in this temporary storage, but it seemed like he had cleared out the storage before going to Japan. He probably disposed of them in the Battle.net market, but this is still here. Sung Ji-han took out an item from the corner of the inventory, the broken brush of Dongbang-sak. Grade A. Advertisement. This is a brush that is too damaged to use. The broken brush of Dongbang-sak, which is said to have lived through the Samkaong-gaba. Even though it was an item that received an A grade despite being broken, it was not sold because it was useless. However, I know the usefulness of this, of course, because the brush of Dongbang-sak was the item that made him a Sung Ji-han. Emergency restoration. He immediately used the emergency restoration obtained from the achievement store, restoring the broken brush of Dongbang-sak. The broken brush of Dongbang-sak has been restored and transformed into the brush of Dongbang-sak. As the brush of Dongbang-sak was briefly illuminated, small red and blue gems appeared one by one in the small groove at the center of the brush handle. Brush of Dongbang-sak. Grade SS. The brush of Dongbang-sak, which lived through the Samkaong-gaba. It connects to the link with the gods. Really? It's done. The brush of Dongbang-sak, which creates a connection with the gods. Sung Ji-han confirmed that the item had been perfectly restored and raised the brush while displaying the status window. Strength, agility, stamina, magic power. In the ability window filled with the minimum stat of 5, he brought the tip of the brush closer. Ching. Then, flames burst from the bristle part of the brush, starting from the top of the status window where the strength stat was written. Characters began to be engraved on top of it. The fire that started from the tip of the bristles quickly spread throughout the brush of Dongbang-sak. Although Sung Ji-han's fingers turned red from the heat, he continued to draw characters with the brush without even frowning. After a total of 10 strokes, Sung Ji-han released the brush from the status window. Poof! The brush that had completed its task turned into dust and disappeared. Above the 3 stats that were in the status window, 2 characters covered them all. Power, strength, agility, and stamina all disappeared and were replaced by this stat. Achievement unlocked. Unique stat acquisition. Obtain 10,000 achievement points. Power, 5. Magic power, 5. Sung Ji-han smiled confidently as he saw that power had reversed the abilities in the status window. It's done. Although he hadn't obtained the nameless martial art yet, right now, with just power alone, he could dominate the Bronze League. The tutorial of the Battle.net League will soon begin. When you are ready, please respond to the summon. You will be forcibly summoned in 5 minutes. At that moment, the tutorial summon message of the Battle.net League appeared. Sung Ji-han briefly looked at Yoon Se-jin's Battle.net connector. Until now, most players connected to Battle.net through the connector. Wasn't the sensory reduction rate 99% with that model? The Battle.net connector that almost made pain imperceptible. Until recently, it was considered essential to connect with this. Without hesitation, Sung Ji-han disconnected from the connector. I won't use what Yoon Se-jin used. Soon, Sung Ji-han accepted the tutorial participation. Then his body flashed white and disappeared. Advertisement. Bronze League, Gangnam 1 area. Among the many league areas in Korea, this place was the most special. It was implicitly stated that the average ability level should be 9 and the gift grade should be A or higher to participate. A hellish ant colony where domestic major companies and guilds deploy the most talented individuals. A league where promising rookies engage in fierce battles to become the best player. That place was Gangnam 1. Therefore, it was a place where Sung Ji-han, with an average ability level of 5 and a gift grade of F in the past, could not survive. I was foolish back then. I became level 2 by criticizing Yoon Se-jin's Yangyu and drinking an experience potion, after seeing Yoon Se-jin's statement about naturalizing in Japan. If it was a sin to accidentally drink an experience potion while robbing Yoon Se-jin's Yangyu warehouse because it was unbelievable, then it was a sin. The place that became level 2 in that way was Yoon Se-jin's house located in Gangnam. In the end, Sung Ji-han was assigned to Gangnam 1 area, participating in the league that he had never even thought about. The end was simple. I was killed by a sword and eliminated in 10 seconds. What a useless life. Thinking that, Sung Ji-han looked at the message window. Welcome to the tutorial. Tutorial mission is survival. Boom, boom. The sound of drums echoed from all directions. Light returned to the darkened field of view. Is this the Colosseum? The bronze exclusive survival map, Colosseum, where 100 players and numerous monsters appear together. A fighting arena where they fight endlessly until half of the players survive. Sung Ji-han looked around. Players with magnificent equipment, along with hordes of monsters, caught his eye. They're probably B grade. They look pretty good. Although they were also level 2 like Sung Ji-han, they were classified as promising rookies by various major companies and guilds, and were borrowing B-grade equipment. They had specs that were incomparable to Sung Ji-han, who was currently wearing sweatpants and a short-sleeved shirt. However, Sung Ji-han was not nervous at all. I should warm up a bit. Sung Ji-han had no intention of losing to them, even if he didn't have any combat stats, as long as he had what he already possessed. But if I'm too strong, I'll feel sorry for the growing seedlings. Aren't they the ones who will support the future of our country? There was no need to traumatize them by slaughtering them all. I should play with them at a similar level. As Sung Ji-han thought that, something appeared before him. The achievement window is activated. A limited quest has been added. A new quest that didn't exist before was added. Limited quest. Achieve first place in the tutorial. Reward. Achievement points 1000. 1000 achievement points. Sung Ji-han's expression changed when he saw this. As expected, Spartan education is the best for growing seedlings. Sung Ji-han, who achieved 7th place in the global player ranking, he achieved 1000 achievement points. It's a massacre. It became sincere. Chapter 4. Bronze League, Gangnam 1 area tutorial. Finally, today is the day. New bronze player, Do Hyuk Jayo, took a deep breath to relax. It's going to go well, I'm lucky. Do Hyuk Jayo looked at his status window. Gift, Agility A, Grade A. Agility is 25. This ability ignores the League's ability limit, Agility A. Although it was a simple gift with a grade attached to the ability, it received high evaluations for its benefit of ignoring the League's ability limit. This changed my life. Do Hyuk Jae vividly remembered his 18th birthday, the gift that only a few people could obtain when awakening as a player, and he got it. He didn't even know he would get it as an A grade. Good riddance to the lottery. That day, in the neighborhood, a banner was hung saying, Do Hyuk Jae awakened with an A grade gift, higher than someone from the neighborhood getting into Seoul National University, and scouts from top domestic companies and guilds came to him with offers. In the end, he was able to join the guild Ishung under the Ishung group. It was enjoyable. The guild provided him with an apartment in Gangnam. When he commuted to the guild in the guild uniform, many people turned their heads to look at him. Since receiving the gift after turning 18, his life had been stable. I will somehow make it to the top 50. Now the remaining task is to survive, and this Bronze League Gangnam 1. Do Hyuk Jae tightly gripped his sword. I can do it. I can do it. Before the battle began, he looked around. A threatening group of monsters and players from other guilds with company logos engraved on their armor caught his eye. That person is from LK. That person is from SG. That person is from Handai Guild. They're all formidable opponents. Indeed, Gangnam 1 area. They were all from major companies. Seeing the formidable opponents, sweat poured from Do Hyuk Jae's hand holding the sword. Flash. At that moment, a player appeared near him. What is this? A man wearing sweatpants and a short-sleeved shirt. His hair seemed to have just woken up, and he didn't have a weapon in his hand. Seeing his appearance, Do Hyuk Jae immediately realized his identity. That is a player who accidentally came to Gangnam 1. Originally, anyone wouldn't have thought of participating in this area. But in the world of humans, mistakes happen from time to time. Even in the organized Korean League, it was common for awakened players who accidentally became level 2 in Gangnam 1 to appear like a drought breaking. Originally, I should wait for the player who came in by mistake to give up the game, leaving the player who came in by mistake alone until they press the game surrender button. That was the rule and etiquette of Gangnam 1 area. However, you're lucky to be able to get one free kill point. What use is such a rule or etiquette? Do Hyuk Jae's eyes gleamed ominously. Advertisement. And tutorial begins. Eliminate opponents until 50 players remain. Boom, boom, boom. The powerful sound of the drum announcing the start echoed, and as the stiffened body loosened up, now is the time. Tap tap. Do Hyuk quickly ran towards the man and drew his sword. Before pressing surrender in the game, he must kill. As the agility gift of A began to show its full potential, Do Hyuk's body flew like an arrow, and just before the tip of the sword touched the man's chest, the sword didn't move. Quack. In the blink of an eye, the blade of the sword was stuck between the man's index and middle fingers. I died like this last time. Sung Ji-han looked at the young man who stabbed him with a sword. He was quite fast for level 2. Perhaps his gift seemed to be agility related. No wonder he couldn't do anything and died last time. Eek, eek. Meanwhile, Do Hyuk struggled to pull out the sword held by Sung Ji-han, but the sword still didn't budge. What kind of power is this? His power level was 9, not a low number at all. But the blade held by only 2 fingers didn't shake at all. You should give me time to log out. You have no manners. You. What is this? How is it stronger than my agility A? Agility A? How did you come to Gangnam 1 with such an ability? Sung Ji-han looked at Do Hyuk with surprised eyes. Agility A, such an ancient artifact-like gift. Oh, this was the past. While Sung Ji-han was taken aback, Do Hyuk made a helpless expression. What? My agility A is such an ability? Well, I won't deny it. Stat increase gift. This gift was supposed to make him a bronze or early fox, but it became useless even in the Gold League. But such a guy is participating in Gangnam 1, truly going back in time. Sung Ji-han suddenly released the power of his fingers. Then Do Hyuk, who was desperately trying to pull out the sword, fell back. Do Hyuk quickly got up, but his face was covered in a sickly color. He was trying to start by getting one kill, but what is this situation? I'm dead. Whoosh! He swung the sword wildly as if to repay this humiliation. But Sung Ji-han easily avoided it with a bored expression. The opponent was definitely faster than himself, who had a power level of 5. Well, what should I do? I can see the trajectory. If you know the beginning and end of the sword, you can easily make up for this speed difference. Now I must finish it. Sung Ji-han slowly made up his mind to break the record. Swish. This time, Do Hyuk-ju's sword, which was tightly aimed, found its target. It's done. Advertisement. At that moment, it seemed like it definitely hit. Thud. Sung Ji-han's hands moved quickly, catching the sword in reverse. He was clearly holding the sword tightly in his hand. In an instant, the sword was in the opponent's hand. When Do Hyuk-ju opened his eyes in disbelief, thud, Sung Ji-han's sword pierced through Do Hyuk-ju's neck in one go. Well done with the sword. Thud, thud. Do Hyuk-ju was about to say something, but his body turned completely white and disappeared. He had suffered a fatal injury and was pronounced dead. Sung Ji-han silently watched the scene. It's a good world. I didn't even die. The same goes for the sword Sung Ji-han is holding. The current battle net is a game. After all, no matter how much you take away the sword, complete plundering is impossible. I guess I'll just have to take the weapon and use it. At that moment, the system window appeared. Tutorial, achieved the first kill, received 100 achievement points. Oh. Perhaps it was because the achievement shop was added to the system window. Unlike in the past, it showed what the achievement points were obtained for. That's not all. Sung Ji-han's gaze turned to the groups of monsters in the Colosseum. Annihilation of the Urk Horde. The Urk Horde, which numbers in the 30s, is the most powerful group of monsters in the Colosseum. Subdue them and show the difference in strength. Reward, 500 achievement points. Above the group of monsters, a quest window related to the achievement appeared again. Great. Generally, killing monsters in the Colosseum map is considered inefficient, because each monster only gives 0.1 kill, especially when it comes to killing individual monsters that are separated. Players hesitated because groups like the Urk Horde were too powerful, but that's a story limited to ordinary players. You sons of Urk, I'll avenge humanity. They give achievements for killing the Urk that degraded humanity. I can't stand this. Sung Ji-han rushed towards the Urk Horde without hesitation. Human, he's crazy, kill him. Human, did they not expect him to charge at them unarmed? The Urk Horde, equipped with their own gear, sneered, save your arrows, Kura. Got it. 3 out of the 5 leading Urks took out their axes and threw them at Sung Ji-han. Did they think that was enough for that reckless human? Sung Ji-han effortlessly caught the flying axes with one hand, as if playing catch. Kayuk, the Urks were momentarily stunned by the absurd situation. This is how you throw an axe. He lightly swung his hand. Each hand axe flew like a gust of wind. Advertisement. Kuk, the hand axe lodged directly into Urk's neck. Surprisingly, those who were hit by the axes were the ones who had thrown the axes. Crazy human, this is madness. Prepare yourselves. As they looked at the fallen Urks, the remaining ones quickly prepared for battle. It's too late. Sung Ji-han had already closed the distance. Thud. Every time his hand moved. Kick. I can't see. Urks' heads fell one by one. An astonishingly accurate and clean trick. Was this how a pack of wolves attacked a herd? The strongest group in the Colosseum, the Urks, had no choice but to be helpless against Sung Ji-han. Quack. When another Urk's head fell, the handle of the axe that had decapitated the necks of 10 comrades broke with a snap. It broke. Kill him now, kill him. The Urks, who had been hesitating, rushed towards Sung Ji-han. Carry better weapons with you. As if he had anticipated this, Sung Ji-han kicked the ground. Then, the weapons of the fallen Urks floated up into the air. Among them, Sung Ji-han grabbed a spear of suitable length and pierced the necks of the charging Urks one by one. Who's next? It's a monster. Run away, run away. It didn't take long for the Urks to lose their formation. With half of their comrades wiped out in an instant, it was natural for them to lose the will to fight, but it was also because they felt a primal fear in the presence of Sung Ji-han, a fighting machine. Sick. A smile spread across Sung Ji-han's face. The decision of the Urks was an action that should never be taken in front of him. Sung Ji-han picked up his weapon and began to pursue them. The Urks scattered in all directions, but Sung Ji-han had a plan for this pursuit. In an instant, he assessed the number of opponents fleeing in each direction. There's the enemy. Sung Ji-han subdued the Urk on the enemy's side by throwing his weapon. Whiz, the axe and spear flew in an arc and lodged directly into the heads of 2 Urks. Kruk, Kuk, Kuk. Sung Ji-han, as if confirming that there was no need for further killing, pursued the remaining enemy in one direction, and now, all that was left was a one-sided massacre. Monster, after the last words of the 30th Urk, elimination of the Urk Horde quest cleared, obtained 500 achievement points. As the quest was cleared, achievement points came in, and along with this, level up, a level up message appeared before his eyes. Chapter 5. Leveling up during the game. Sung Ji-han was quite surprised after reading the message. Originally, the time when the most experience points were gained was after the game ended, so leveling up usually occurred after the battle was over. Of course, it's because I'm a low level. It wasn't a difficult task since it was a hunt that even an average level 2 wouldn't be able to accomplish. Sung Ji-han opened his status window and looked at the stat window. Strength, 5. Magic, 5. Remaining stat points, 1. Sung Ji-han invested the remaining stat points into strength. When strength reaches 30, the path to acquiring the Nameless Divine Art will open. The Nameless Divine Art was an SSS-grade martial art that had placed him at the pinnacle of the world. Therefore, his top priority task at the moment was to increase his strength, which was the acquisition condition for the martial art. However, even though he was getting closer to that goal, Sung Ji-han's expression remained grim. Strength probably won't increase. But I still have to allocate the points. Even if he allocated the points, the stats wouldn't increase. Strength stat. This unique stat encompassed strength, agility, and stamina, transcending the 3 basic stats. That's not all. Strength 5 and power 5. If he were to compete in strength with these 2 stats, they should be similar since the values were the same. But in reality, the strength side was overwhelmingly powerful. In terms of ratio, at least twice as much. In other words, strength was a crazy stat that combined all 3 stats and exerted more than double the efficiency. But it does have a weakness. It was incredibly difficult to increase. In his previous life, he initially thought it was a bug, since he had clearly invested points into the stat, but his strength didn't increase, and later on, he found out that investing points only increased the limit of strength growth. After participating in the league, fighting numerous battles, and personally engaging in intense training, his stat points gradually increased. In the end, strength was a stat that had to be grown through bone-grinding effort. But why? Sung Ji-han furrowed his brows. He blinked several times and looked at the stat window. Why? The numbers looked strange. Strength, 6. Why does 5 look like 6? After blinking his eyes several times, Sung Ji-han suddenly felt a surge of power in his body. Only then did he realize the reality. My strength just increased? This had never happened before. He was momentarily taken aback by the unexpected stroke of luck. Well, that's great. Since it immediately increased his stat points, he should be grateful. He smiled broadly and looked around. Strength 6. He wanted to test this power right away. There are 60 survivors. The tutorial will end soon. Advertisement. At that moment, the voice of the system resounded. The tutorial had reached a point where only 60 survivors remained. Perhaps because it was a battleground with no place to hide, the game progressed at a fast pace. Sung Ji-han opened the scoreboard to check the rankings. First place, Sung Ji-han, 4 kills, no affiliation. Second place, Im Gyung, 3 kills, Lee Sung. Sung Ji-han, who had killed 30 orcs, was in first place, and behind him was a player named Im Gyung, chasing closely. Im Gyung? It sounded familiar. Sung Ji-han tried to recall for a moment, but couldn't remember who it was. That was understandable, considering he had been living in exile in the United States for quite some time. Other than the bold name, he couldn't remember much. But 3 kills, huh? If I make a mistake, he might take first place. Sung Ji-han postponed his thoughts about Im Gyung for later. The most important thing now was to secure first place in the tutorial. He had to go all out, even if it meant getting one more kill. Just as he made up his mind, swoosh, an arrow flew from the left, dodging it effortlessly. Sung Ji-han looked to the side. I dodged it, lucky me. 2 people approached, wearing armor with hexagonal patterns like a turtle shell. Are they from the same guild? It was a survival map. The original intention of this map was for individual battles, but there were no rules against cooperation, although there was a system in place to prevent the simultaneous summoning of guild members. How did they join? In places like Gangnam 1, where there were few participating groups, there were often cases of joining like that, and they have a good combination: a male warrior with a sword and shield, and a female archer. Simple but effective combination. The two approached with determined expressions. Let's kill them quickly and improve our rankings. Sure, let's just take any kills. Sounds good. Sung Ji-han, covered in orc blood and holding multiple weapons, looked strange, but dressed in casual clothes. He looked like an easy prey, a wrongly summoned guy. He seems to be unable to log out due to a lack of panic. This is a chance to achieve one kill. The two people were from Turtle Guild, one of the top 10 guilds in Korea. When they were summoned for the tutorial, they noticed that they were close to each other and joined forces, melee damage dealer and ranged damage dealer. With this combination, survival was guaranteed. We were planning to pass the tutorial without any trouble, but we can't let such a newbie go hungry. Hey, if you personally buy me a meal, I'm willing to make a concession. Hee, deal? Rather than being cautious of the person in front of them, the two approached with a playful attitude. Ironically, it was Sung Ji-han who was smiling. You're being careless. I actually like it. Advertisement. It's a good thing that there's no time. Sung Ji-han threw the hand axe like a beam of light. Whirly whirly, the hand axe was even faster than when it slaughtered orcs. Oh, the archer momentarily lost focus and tried to dodge. Clang, his right arm, holding the arrow, was severed and fell to the ground. Ah, the archer grimaced in pain, furrowing his brow. Sung Ji-han chuckled at the sight. He must have connected through the BattleNet connector and is being dramatic. The BattleNet connector that greatly reduces latency. It won't reduce it as much as Yoon Se-jin's, but it will at least reduce it by over 70%. But to be hindered in battle because of that pain, he's still far from it. Sung Ji-han made his judgment based on that. Stop, ignoring the warrior who held up his shield to block his path. Sung Ji-han aimed for the archer who stood dumbfounded. As the spear approached, the archer quickly tried to evade. Thud. Her head was impaled by the spear and turned white before disappearing. How could a woman? When the warrior, who witnessed the archer's death, trembled in his voice, Sung Ji-han looked at him as if he were crazy. What? A woman? Did you come to play? Arguing about gender in the arena? Is this the class of the Bronze League? You should roll around a bit more here. He couldn't let someone with such a state of mind pass the tutorial. Sung Ji-han immediately rushed towards the warrior. PR profit. There are 52 survivors. The tutorial will end soon. Only 2 more deaths and it will be over. The warrior hid behind his shield. Don't think about fighting. Just survive for now. We're almost at the finish line. When Sung Ji-han passed by him, the warrior could grasp Sung Ji-han's ability. He will lose 100% if he fights, but he could hold on, because the weapon the monster was holding was so crude. If he wore full plate mail and a solidly forged helmet, and hid behind his shield, no matter how strong he is, what can he do? Meanwhile, no fighting spirit, huh? Seeing the warrior crouched down, Sung Ji-han could also understand his thoughts. Well then, let's see where you can hold on. Clang. Sung Ji-han's spear turned behind the warrior and precisely stabbed the back of his neck. Ugh. As his armor crumpled, the warrior staggered. Thud. The shoddy window couldn't withstand the impact and shattered. Advertisement. As expected, I was able to block it. B-grade armor, and it's a full plate armor for warrior use exclusively by the Turtle Guild. It's reliable indeed. There are 51 survivors. The tutorial will soon end. If only one more person dies, we can survive. That's what the warrior thought as he tried to endure. Trusting in his armor. Clang, clang, consecutive impacts struck the back of his neck. Ugh, this guy has so many weapons. He was carrying a club, a hand axe, and various crude weapons. Is he using all of them now? But he keeps hitting the same spot, over and over. The warrior wasn't just standing there idly. He turned his body towards the direction where the attack was likely to come from and tried to block as much as possible. But Sung Ji-han persistently turned around to his back and struck the back of the warrior's neck. An enemy who skillfully handles various types of weapons as if they were his own hands, Cold sweat ran down the warrior's back. The more the impact increased, the more severely the armor was crushed, and eventually, crack, crunch, 4 weapons broke, creating an opening. Through that gap, the broken half of a sword blade pierced through. Thud, his throat was pierced through, and the warrior's consciousness faded, and in his ear, the system voice resounded, "There are 50 survivors, the tutorial will end." So, the 50th warrior was me after all. Until the very last moment before his death, the warrior regretted, "I shouldn't have touched the sky. I should have realized something was off from the moment he didn't log out and held on to his weapon." The warrior's body turned pale and disappeared. In front of Sung Ji-han, a scoreboard appeared. First place, Sung Ji-han, 6 kills, no affiliation. Second place, Im Gyung, 4 kills, Lee Sung. With a solid lead of 2 kills over second place, he was the undisputed first place. You have achieved first place in the tutorial. You have obtained the title Conqueror of the tutorial. You have cleared the limited quest Achieve first place in the tutorial. You have obtained 1000 achievement points as a reward. Great. An involuntary satisfied smile formed. I gain 1600 achievement points and even a title from just one game. And when he returns to the real world, he might even receive experience rewards based on his ranking. He was excited to see how much his level would increase. First place, Sung Ji-han, no affiliation, and with the results of that day, a strange atmosphere spread within the guilds that participated in the tutorial.